How's it going, everyone? How are you doing today? I am going over my predictions for the Chelsea versus Rennes game. Obviously, last time it was an entertaining game up until the unfortunate red card for Delbert that kind of ruined the whole second half because Rennes had to completely change the way they approached the game, and Chelsea were able to just establish a good press and dominate the game, dominate possession. Although Rennes did have some good opportunities in the second half, Chelsea were in full control. They were in the driver's seat in that first half. In the second half, and we were able to come out with a 3-0 win that maybe wasn't fully deserved. But to get right into the player news for this game, Christian Pulisic still out with that hamstring injury, but Lampard did confirm that he will be back for our rematch against Spurs, so that is some good news. Havertz and Thiago Silva both back from their respective, Kai was in quarantine, Thiago Silva was jet lagged, so they're back from their respective problems and are up for selection this game. Now for Rennes, they have Delbert, who is suspended, like I mentioned, got that red card in the last time they played Chelsea, and Daniele Rugani with his thigh injury is still out. And I saw a conflicting report about Jeremy Doku. This was before the Bordeaux game that said he was going to be out, he's injured, but he played against Bordeaux, he came off the bench, so I think he should be fit for this game, and I think he should start for this game, and I'll explain that later on. But to get right into the lineups, with that being said, we have a 4-3-3 for Chelsea. Edouard Mendy in goal, Ben Chilwell on the left, Thiago Silva and Kurt Zouma the center back duo, Reece James on the right for our midfield trio, Kai Havertz, N'Golo Kante and Kovacic, and up top we have Tammy Abraham at striker, Timo Werner left wing, and Hakim Ziyech right wing. Now, I'm okay with Abraham starting up top because I'm more okay because of the form he's been in. I thought about it, after my prediction video, I thought about it, and I was just like, why bench a player who's on really good form right now? And Abraham is on good form, and like I said in those videos, Timo Werner, although he would, in my opinion, perform better up top, he does perform well wherever you put him. So it's okay with Abraham playing up top because he is in form, he is doing really well in these games, and I think he does deserve to continue to start. Now for our subs, it's the Champions League, so obviously the rest of the squad is included. We have Kepa, Caballero, Carlos Zeiger, Antonio Rudiger, Marcos Alonso, Christensen, Emerson, Azpilicueta, Jorginho, Mount, Giroud, Hudson-Odoi, and Billy Gilmore with a little asterisk is a big maybe. I don't know if he's included in the squad, so that's a big maybe, and plus, if Lampard even chooses him. But to move on to Rennes, my predicted lineup for Rennes, I picked a 4-2-3-1, not a 5 in the back for them. I think they'll replicate more of what they had against Bordeaux because I don't think they'll step back as much in this game, and I think it would benefit more to have a formation that they can easily transition from defense to offense. But to get right into it, Gomez, the goalkeeper, on the left, Truffert, the Silva and Aguerd, the center back duo, on the right, Traore, the two holding midfielders, Camavinga and Borijod, on the left, Tate, center, Terrier, on the right, Jeremy Doku, and up top, Girassi. Now for their subs, we have Sapi, Grenier, Martin, Salin, Huno, Niamsi, Routier, Bonnet, Ugo Chukwu, Huno, Mawasa, Del Castillo, Niang, and Boho. Now my thing is with Truffert, starting Truffert at left back, is I looked at their squad list and it said that he wasn't included, but the thing is Boho wasn't included in their squad list either. That's how he's listed on the official Champions League website. However, Boho played against Chelsea in their last game, so I included Truffert. There's a chance maybe he doesn't get involved, but with Boho playing against Chelsea in the last game, I think Truffert should start for Rennes. Now for the last 3 games for Chelsea, we had obviously a very comfortable 2-0 win over Newcastle, solid response in the Sheffield game where we won 4-1, and then the game before that was the 3-0 win over Rennes. Now for Rennes, they've been in very bad form in recent times at the turn of the season and have not done incredibly well this season. They most recently lost against Bordeaux 1-0 over the weekend, and then had back-to-back 3-0 losses against PSG and Chelsea respectively. Now as for the last matchup between these two teams, obviously it was the 3-0 win for Chelsea about a month ago or so, and damn, that was a long time ago. That's crazy. The international break, we've only played 2 games since then. Stupid international break. But obviously in that matchup, it was a disappointing game because of the red card. It was a disappointing second half, more so because of the red card. It was shaping up to be a really entertaining, finish to the game. But like I mentioned, Rennes had to change everything. But to get right into Chelsea's approach to this game, I do think that we can try to approach it very similarly to how we've approached our last 3 Premier League games against Sheffield, Newcastle, and Burnley, where we establish a press early, a continuous press early, and gain the early foothold in this game. I don't think that Rennes will just sit back, like I mentioned, like playing 5 in the back. I don't think they'll do that against us again. I think the thing is for them is they are essentially playing for the Europa League, because more than likely Sevilla is going to beat Krasnodar, so they're still going to be in contention for the Europa League when they face off against Krasnodar next week, or next, actually yeah, I think it's next week, when they play against Krasnodar, and they'll be able to get the Europa League if they get 3rd place in the group. So I mean, this isn't a must win for them, though it would be nice obviously to get those 3 points, while Krasnodar are likely going to lose against Sevilla. So this is a big game for them, where I don't think they'll sit back. That's why I don't think they'll sit back, is they're going to try and get something from this game. Not like last time where they got shut out and just looked flat in the second half for the most part. However, I do think that their defense will still be solid. Their defense will still be solid and difficult to break down because of the 2 holding midfielders between Camavinga and Bodijod, who will drop back and make it 6 in the back at times, and then not to mention Tate and Doku on the left and right dropping back and helping. So I think they'll still play a pretty compact defense, and they'll be difficult to break them down. But however, with them pulling numbers back, like I mentioned, Tate, Doku, Camavinga, Bodijod, it'll allow us to throw more numbers forward and commit more numbers forward, because we won't have to worry as much about, the forwards being, we're getting outnumbered on defense. We'll be able to push up and give us more time to establish a continuous press through some passing. As long as we're with constant movement, we'll always find space. We'll always find some kind of space and be able to keep the short pass and keep possession and keep a press going if they drop numbers back. The more we pressure Rennes with those passes and with pace, the more likely we're going to break them down, and we're going to expose space that we can take advantage of. However, Rennes can easily counter us. They are a pretty solid counter-attacking team. They had some good counters going in the last game we played against them, and they were able to find. They weren't able to score, but they were able to find some success in creating a threat up top and forcing us to kind of be hesitant about pressing forward. One of our biggest issues these last 3 Premier League games has been keeping our shape while maintaining the press, and we haven't been exposed. I mean, we got scored out against Sheffield, but we really haven't been exposed when we're out of position while trying to keep the press, because we throw numbers forward, and that tends to throw off our shape. So we need to get better at that, and I think that Rennes could be a team that can expose us if we're not too careful about keeping our shape while keeping that press going. And Rennes are very dangerous in the first half. Rennes were very dangerous against Chelsea in the first half before the red card in the last game. Like I mentioned, they were doing really well on the counter. Whenever they got an opportunity to get forward, they felt threatening. So obviously they're not a team that we could just take lightly. And then in the second half, despite everything that was going on, when Jeremy Doku, and this is why I chose him to start, when Jeremy Doku was introduced in that game around the 60th minute or so, 65th or something like that, he just gave so much energy to the attack, and gave Rennes just a little glimmer of hope that they can maybe get something out of this game. I think at the time when he was introduced, it was 1-0. We scored soon after, but he gave them a hope that they might be able to at least get a goal in that game, and unfortunately they didn't. But Doku was definitely a light for them, and I think that's why he deserves to start. His energy, his high pace, his dribbling, his passing, everything about him was just very energetic. He was very in the game. He was really trying, and with Chilwell pushing up, more than likely he can try and expose the space that's behind Chilwell and find some success there, and he'll probably have a lot of fun with that space in this game. But with mentioning Chilwell, I think him and Reece James, the fullbacks, will be big in this game, crucial to bring in a whole different dimension and forcing their defense to make some difficult decisions, especially the fullbacks. On the left side of the defense for Rennes, I believe I put Truffert. He's gonna have to deal with either Ziyech or James, and then on the right, which is I think a little more difficult, is they're gonna have to deal with Timo Werner and Ben Chilwell. So they're going to have to make difficult decisions. But not only that, I mean, it can draw out the center backs, but I think more than likely we're going to end up drawing out the holding midfielders and Camavinga and Bodijod. and pulling them out wide. And what that's going to do is create space down the middle for the likes of Kovacic and Havertz. And that's the reason why I also picked Kovacic, because I think between him and Havertz, they are our two best midfielders going forward. Kai Havertz, I feel like, is undisputed our best attacking mid, going like just on the attack. He's our best midfielder. But I think Kovacic is, especially last season, he showed a lot of what he can do going forward. So I think him and Havertz are our two best, midfielders going forward. So by, pushing Reece James and Chilwell up, pulling those holding midfielders out wide, it can allow Havertz and Kovacic to find some space, get passes going, and create space and find those spaces in the Rennes defense to expose and take advantage of them and take advantage of the space that's going to be left behind. Now, if they counter us, we need to be ready to get the ball back quickly and essentially counter their counter. Because when Rennes push up off defense and start to attack, they tend to spread out and create space for us. Now, obviously, when you're attacking, you want to create space, right? You want to be able to just always have an option on the pass. So now you don't get stuck, you don't lose the ball. So they spread out on the attack and they leave more space when they're defending, and that should allow us to expose that space, like I was mentioning with Kovacic, Havertz, and all them. When we press back up, we need to when they counter, we need to quickly get the ball back. And as soon as we get the ball back, race up the field. We need to race up the field. We need to use pace. We need to use quick, sharp passing, long passes if it's there. Like obviously Ziyech is a freaking master at long passes, and so it would be huge if Timo maybe finds that space and then Ziyech switches the field to him. But when we counter their counter, we need to be like this. We need to go because they expose themselves on the counter, just like many teams do. When you counter, you tend to expose yourself, and it's up to you to make sure that you keep the ball going up their field while you're countering. But if you get countered on your counter, you're going to expose yourself, and I think that's one way that we can really hit Rennes hard is when they try to get the ball, forward, we take it back and just like that. We need to race back up the field, pass, and then get a shot off if we get close enough. We can't allow them to settle. Pretty much when they counter, we can't allow them to settle. As soon as we get the ball back, we need to go, use the pace and get forward and get some shots off. Now, honestly, I don't know how Rennes' form is going to affect them mentally. They've only won one game in their last 9, so they're not in great form right now. Not at all. Not even good form, not decent form. They're in poor form right now. And I mean, they were in 3rd when we played them last month, but now they're in 7th in their league, and so they're not in great form right now. They're not, and they're struggling. And it's yet to be seen how it's really affecting them mentally. I know they keep losing, but they're still trying. It's not like they're really giving up. They're still putting a lot of effort into this game, and they're a talented team. They're a team that can win. They can win these games. They just can't pull out the results. That's what they kind of remind me of Brighton. Brighton are a pretty talented small side, yet they just can't come up with the results. They play well in game, but they're just not getting the results, and that's Rennes right now. But with that being said, I do hope that we get more of what we saw in the first half in the first game between these two, which was really entertaining. And before the red card even happened, it was a really entertaining back and forth game. Even when Chelsea got that early penalty, Rennes responded immediately and were all over us. They pressed high. They did well to respond, and if anything, they got momentum from our goal. They did well to build off our momentum. They took our momentum from that goal and used it on their attack and became very threatening in that game. And then, the ref obviously ruined it with that red card, and they were forced to change their game plan. However, in this game, if we do manage to get a goal, I think that they will respond well. And so it'll be up to the defense to hold it down and allow our midfield and offense to continuously establish that press and can get it going. And once we do have it, maintaining it again while keeping our shape, not allowing ourselves to get exposed. Like I was talking about, the counter, teams get exposed on the counter. We can't expose ourselves like that. We need to maintain a good shape about us. If Chilwell and James are both pushing up, then Conte needs to drop back. And I believe Havertz will be the midfielder to push up, and I think Kovacic should drop back to try and cover as much space as possible. Sort of leave 3 in the back with Conte being pulled back, and then Kovacic there to man the midfield, obviously. And then James and Chilwell will come back if we get countered. So it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be an entertaining game. I don't think it's gonna be a game where we push them over again. It's not gonna be I don't think it's gonna be a huge scoreline. However, I do think that our defense will be strong enough to hold another clean sheet in the Champions League. That will be our 4th straight if we manage to do it. and I think they can, and I think we'll get a couple goals. Hopefully not penalties this time. Hopefully some open field goals, and some solid ones with some good passing and some, you know, maybe a crazy shot from Ziyech or something where we manage to get it in, a couple counters. And I think we're going to come up with a 2-0 scoreline. That's my prediction for this game. And I don't think Rennes going to be pushed over. And I think that they're really going to give us a challenge. And hopefully nothing ruins that. And we're able to get in this game, come away with a clean sheet, but learn something. And that's why I want Rennes to challenge us. I want us to learn something from this game. You know, a weakness that we didn't really know we had. I want Rennes to expose something. Obviously, I don't want to lose, but I want Rennes to expose us for something that we can work on. Because the more we get exposed, the more we can work on. The more we know our weaknesses, and the more we can get stronger and stronger and stronger. Because as good as Chelsea is right now, our ceiling is still way higher than where we're at, which is crazy to think about. On paper, our team is just incredible, and they're performing. The defense more so is performing well above their standards. I think Thiago Silva and Edouard Mendy get a lot of credit for that, and Ben Chilwell too. They get a lot of credit for what our defense has become. You know, they're very solid now. And we should be able to hold a clean sheet in this game, I think. And as long as we keep our shape, we should be able to come out with a win, 2-0, and hopefully we win this game. Because again, I didn't mention this actually, but Sevilla plays Krasnodar. If Sevilla beats Krasnodar, which they likely will, it'll set up for the matchup against Sevilla next week or in a couple weeks. And if we beat Sevilla, we go top of the group, and we get a relatively easier matchup in the round of 16. So. And we have not made it to the quarterfinal in the last couple attempts in Champions League. So hopefully we get a relatively easier matchup, get to go into the quarterfinals, get some of the big dogs, and, you know, make a run in the Champions League. But this game, it all starts with this game, and it all starts tomorrow with this game. So hopefully we come with a win and another clean sheet. But if you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe. Go check out the socials in the description. My Twitter is @BlueHermit1. My Instagram is @BlueHermit_. Please share the socials with all your friends, family, everybody you know. Let the people know Blue Hermit's where it's at, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.